Hello there YouTube, Sp4zie coming right at you. Having a good strategy and a theory is usually a very good idea, but there are scenarios where it can actually become more of a blockade for you and serve you the complete opposite purpose of what you would like it to do, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. Get yourself a drink. I've got myself a trusty cup of coffee. So I had the complete pleasure of attending London and the quarterfinals of Worlds. Before that, though, I went to Birmingham and attended a viewer party that Riot hosted there. And this event turned out to be way above all my expectations, because what I did get to do was not just talk with you guys, but also listen a lot to what you had to say. It's not that often I get, a little bit more time to spend with you guys to get to that point. Let's just make one thing very clear, and that is that one of the most common things I get asked, not only in interviews, but also when I meet you guys, is advice on how to make it. How do I become a successful YouTuber? How do I become a successful streamer? I read somewhere that being a YouTuber or streamer is, according to some survey or something, one of the most sought after and coveted professions for young people. Being asked what they'd like to do once they're done with their studies, that's the answer they'll give you. I also heard from a friend that is a teacher to younger students that apparently that's the only thing people talk about. That's what you want to become, be it within gaming, fashion, lifestyle, action, sports, you name it, everything is about that. So it's not surprising that I get asked these questions a lot, and to be honest, it's a treat for me, because this is one of those jobs that tends to eat your life, I guess you could put it. And I don't mean to put that into a negative perspective, but for me, YouTubing and streaming, it's what I do. It's what I'm thinking about. It is what occupies my consciousness 90% of my waking time, almost each and every day. It is my life. And that's why you can imagine that when someone asks a question that is related to your life, you tend to have a lot of ideas and things to say about it. And hopefully, my friends, at least I find that to be true, it's more applicable to other things in life than you might think. So I met this one guy from the viewer party in Birmingham. We talked a little bit, we hung out a little bit, I had a good time, and then he came at me with a question. It was somewhere along the lines of, so I want to start a channel, but I do not want to do what everyone else does. I have, during my research, come to the conclusion that an original idea is what I need to reach any success, and I really don't want to become someone who copies others. And to that, I firstly congratulated him on the fact that he had come to a conclusion that, to some extent is very correct. Of course, it's very lucrative to be original in your content if you want to make it. I mean, that goes for any business strategy. If you're feeling a need that no one else is doing, then you'll be golden. But see, here's the thing. Sitting there analyzing is one thing, but with YouTubing or any profession, or heck, a lot of situations in life in general, you can plan and you can theorize, but that is usually a very, very, very small part of building the road to success. Take a professional football player. I mean, sure, he or she needs to know their position on the field and how the setup they have is working and stuff, but compare that to the amount of time they've practiced to properly hit the ball with their feet. And you'll quickly, of course, realize that that's a very, very small part of it in comparison. I don't even know if that metaphor holds up. Look, I've said numerous times in interviews that I, read a ton of articles on how to YouTube before I started to YouTube, yeah? And that was very important indeed, but I also spent a good year or so uploading videos on a frequent basis, trying out different things, experimenting, before I ended up publishing the first video that I guess you could consider being episode 1 of the epic moments, which is, of course, what my channel ended up being a lot about. And even that is an original idea, but at the time, at least, it wasn't really owned by anyone within the League community, and I guess since I theory crafted and thought a lot in general, I came to that conclusion. But see, what's important here is that even then, if I didn't have the practice to perform the execution of the idea, it wouldn't be worth anything. I feel like I often get praised for being a smart guy, and of course that is freaking flattering, but see, I don't even think that's true. I am where I am today, not because I was born with a certain number of IQ, or I have a sense for content. I'm here because I've just worked really hard. And I hope you don't take that as me bragging about that, because the only reason I'm saying this is that I hope it might be a bit inspiring, because working hard, it's not that difficult compared to answering the question, how do I find a 100% original idea? So whatever you do, my friends, don't overthink things. Sometimes you'll find you've spent hours, preparing for something, and when you finally get there, you realize that, wait, I could have done this without all that thought and anxiousness and things. Don't do anything without thinking. But don't let your thinking stop you from doing anything. This has been Sp4zie, and I'm out.